Hey guys, Nicole here with Obscure Reptiles and Caging, and today we're going to be giving you guys some tips on selling reptiles. So let's get started. Hey guys, in this video today we're going to be talking about selling reptiles. It really doesn't matter what reptile you're trying to sell, if you are trying to be a very big time breeder or if you just want to do it more as a hobby. These are some tips and tricks for you guys to try out at home and see how they work for you. If anyone has any other tips that I don't cover in this or any other ideas that I haven't talked about, please put them in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. So the first thing, if you are going to be breeding reptiles, is make sure you have good reptiles. Make sure that they are healthy, make sure that they are thriving. You want to make sure you're also buying the best quality animals if you're going to be, for example, breeding them. You don't want to get something that, like, for example, a pastel that just looks kind of brown, mediocre, when there's a very high yellow pastel you could purchase. Yes, it's probably going to be more money, but in the long run, if you're making more quality animals, it's going to be a lot easier for you to sell than if you just have something that looks okay. Another thing is make sure, no matter what it is you are selling, that you are doing a good competitive price. The best way that I have found is either follow different people on different social media, kind of look at different people who are doing around the same thing that you are doing and see what prices they're going for. You don't want to compare yourself, for example, to maybe a humongous breeding company that has really bad reviews and mediocre animals. If you have really high quality animals, you're looking for other people who are pretty much on the same quality level as you and see what they're pricing their animals for. A really good way to do that I like is Morph Market. I like to find other animals, and my biggest thing is I will sell them for $1 cheaper than everybody else, and my animals sell incredibly quickly doing that. Now the reason, even if it's just $1 cheaper, if everyone, for example, is selling a pied for $300, let's just, to make it easy, let's say $300, everyone's selling for $300 or more. So if I do $2.99, if there's an option for people to look cheapest to the most expensive. And a lot of people, for example, I do that, and the cheapest will always come up first. So if I'm the cheapest, I always come up first. So that's a really good way to be able to sell things if you're doing something like Morph Market. Another thing that will really help sell is make sure you have a really good quality picture. I'm going to post a bunch of different pictures that I have taken, and they were all taken off my cell phone. I just have a Samsung. I think it's like a number 9 or something like that. It's nothing fancy. It just has just one regular old camera, and the trick is to take really good photos. Now the way to take a wonderful photo is you can use nice lights like I have set up here, but even that doesn't give you the best quality picture. The best that I have ever found is I go outside when it's weather permitting. It's a little bit cold up here in Buffalo still. So outside, not direct sunlight, but in the shade, takes the best photos. No matter what lights and setups you have, it still doesn't do as good as the natural sunlight. But it's just me holding the animal, and I do a very basic, I try to take them outside when it's not too sunny and it's warm enough. Another good thing is make sure it has a normal backdrop, nothing too crazy. But these are just very simple, very basic pictures. A lot of them are actually in deli cups when people were coming to pick up these animals. I would just take a picture before they left. But this is a really good way if people see really good quality photos, so you can really see the colors of the animal, plus on top of that a cheaper animal than most other people. Even if it's just by $1, you're going to sell things a lot quicker. Here's a great example for you guys. Here's a mediocre picture, and let's say again everyone's selling this exact same animal for $300, and then you see this picture and this price is $2.99. What are you going to click on first? Even though it's the exact same animal, you're probably going to click on this one first. Not only does it have a high quality photo, it's cheaper than all the rest. Again, even by $1. People normally don't sit there and think, oh, it's $1, doesn't matter. They see the picture, they see the quality, they see good reviews, because you want to make sure that every person who purchases from you, you ask them to leave you a good review. Like again, on Morph Market. Not everyone will, but anyone you have a good experience with, ask them, give you a good review, because that will help in the long run. You have to be really careful, for example, on Facebook posting. You cannot sell any animals. Things can only be for rehoming. And every different social media has different rules and regulations, so you want to make sure you're not only following those, but you don't want to be getting in trouble, getting banned, because there's nothing worse than getting a few thousand followers on Facebook and then getting your whole page shut down because you tried to sell one animal and you didn't put the words right. So a good thing, at least that I try to do, again, these are all things that I have done and worked well for me. I went and I finally just made myself a website. I don't know how many people who've actually ever seen me or first learned about me based on the website first, but a lot of people who go on my social media, I post the website. That way they're able to see, again, high quality photos. I don't really put too much for sale. It links to my Morph Market. I post different videos and I link it to my YouTube. I'm able to get a lot of people to look at a lot of different things on just one thing. Yes, you do have to pay to have a website. You can design it yourself. Whether you're doing this as a hobby or you're really trying to get into this and make it like a career, you're gonna have to spend money. You have to spend money to make money. Even on like Instagram and Facebook, you can also run ads. You're gonna have to do that from time to time, especially if you're newer and you have things that, like, let's say you make custom reptile hides. That's a great way to get more people out there. You're going to have to really have a good social media presence to bring in a lot of people, especially if you're newer. If you live somewhere where it has really cold climate, a nice tip is do a sale before winter. You really can't ship after, let's say, November because of the holidays, Black Friday, and they shut down a lot of places that ship. So you will be able to sell locally, but a lot of times it's a little bit harder, especially if you have higher priced animals. For example, by Buffalo, New York, a lot of people don't want to pay more than a few $100s for a snake. So if you have a lot of $500 and up animals, it's going to be a lot easier normally to ship them. So if you have, let's say, 30 babies and you don't breed your own rodents and you're running low, make sure you run a sale before it's too late to ship. Then you can get rid of some of the overstock that you have. That way you don't have to keep all those overstock animals the entire winter. You have to pay to feed them, clean them, care for them. That's a lot more work when you could just, take 25, 50 bucks off per snake and they'll move a little bit faster. Another thing that worked great for me is before I made YouTube or any kind of videos, I would actually write up care guides because I want to make sure the animals that people are getting and receiving not only are being taken care of properly, but they thrive. So if somebody goes and gets a very small snake from me and it should be in something like a 6-quart bin, but they're putting it in a 100-gallon glass tank, I write up care guides so they know what they should be doing with those animals. Every year I always have 2 or 3 people who have an issue with their animal, and those are always the people who, again, are taking a tiny little baby snake and putting it in a 100-gallon glass tank. Or one lady decided, I don't believe the snake needs any heat, and was wondering why the snake passed away. Make up a care guide, even if you just write it down or just talk to the people who want to purchase from you and let them know, look, you need this, this, and this, or you can't purchase my animal. A lot of people, if they're new or they just seem like they're really not very knowledgeable, I'll either let them come see what I have, I'll recommend a video that I've made or other people to show proper care and setup, or I just won't sell to that person. If they're like, yeah, no, I'm definitely going to go take it home, put it in this, I'm not going to use heat, I don't believe in this, then I just will say, well, then there's a lot of other breeders. Thank you very much for your time and for talking with me, but I'm not going to sell you this animal because I don't feel comfortable selling it to someone who might mishandle the animal or give it improper care. No matter what, you're going to get people who are rude, people who are very annoying, who message you a dozen times every single day, talking about nothing involving reptiles, but you really have to answer each and every person. No matter how busy you are, this is a business. Whether it's a small business or a large business, you still need to get back to everyone. Having a quick response time makes a big difference, because if somebody's asking 10 people, what's the price of your blue-eyed Lucy, and you're the last person to answer, you probably just missed a sale. But if you respond as soon as you see it, I understand everyone has a super busy life. My life is crazy busy, but I still do my best to respond as quick as possible. It could get you more sales. Probably the number one rule when breeding reptiles is be honest. Sometimes you're going to have animals that are not 100% perfect. You might have a snake that's always been a picky eater ever since it hatched. Then you need to just keep it longer. You need to try different things. You need to work with that animal. Don't just sell the animal, get rid of it. just because you don't want to handle it and don't warn the person. That's not fair to that other person, and that's not a good business practice. You can tell people, look, I have a blue-eyed Lucy, it's a very picky eater. I will give you it, $100 cheaper, and if there's problems along the line, let me know. But just so you know, it only takes meals every 2 to 3 weeks instead of every week. Don't take a sketchy picture so that way people don't see a scar on the side of the animal. If it's not eating, just tell the person. Make sure you are 100% honest from the beginning. And probably the last thing is, when you are breeding, breed what you like, but also breed what people like. I've said it in quite a few different videos. For my experience, the top 3 things people want are regular pieds, blue-eyed Lucies, and albinos or albino pieds. I breed them because I like them. Not only do I breed them because people want them, I definitely do my best to make sure I'm at least producing some of those things throughout the year, but then doing things that I feel really passionate about. Like, I love the GHI combos. People enjoy it, but normally not as much as people really want a regular blue-eyed Lucy. So breed things that are not only going to set you apart, but breed things that people want to buy, because it's a lot easier to make a sale when everyone's asking for a blue-eyed Lucy. If you at least produce a few of those people not only are going to want to come back, but the people who missed out, they'll probably come back to you next year if they really liked you and the way that you talked to them and the way you handled yourself. If you're trying to make easy sales, I would not steer the direction of, for example, hets. Anything that could be a het, they're normally a little bit harder to sell. People want visuals. Like I mentioned, some people will be pretty annoying. I have some people in the breeding season who will message me every single day, multiple times a day, talking about anything and everything, and then they never even end up purchasing something, which can be very annoying and frustrating and feels like a waste of time. Maybe that person didn't buy from you, but you don't know. That person could have said, hey, check out their YouTube channel or check out their website to 5 people, and one of those 5 or multiple of them could have then purchased from you down the line. So make sure you're a people person before, deciding to breed these. But that's it for this video. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We do videos every Wednesday, and I'll see you.